Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to a special edition of Philly Reality Check. I'm your host, Rejéan. So tonight, here in Germantown section of Philadelphia, we're here at Uncle Bobbie's Coffee and Books, where we are soon going to have a one-on-one interview with none other than Breakfast Club's own Charlamagne Tha God. He's going to start telling us about his book that he just came out with entitled Shook Ones. It came out a couple days ago. You can download it on Audible or just purchase the book. But we're going to get into this book, find out some facts, why he want to bring it out now, what made him bring the whole conversation about this book, and what more we need to find out about his struggles and his career. So stay tuned. I'm here with Charlamagne Tha God,
Yeah.
radio personality like Arthur. The man does it all. He's been in radio for what, about 20 years now?
20 years.
20 years. It's
Ain't you on the
crazy.
Breakfast Club.
So my thing is, Charlamagne, you have the new book. We're promoting Shook Ones by Charlamagne Tha God.
Yes, sir.
So-
On anxiety playing tricks on me. Go get it.
Right. So my thing is this. Honestly, I listened to your book on Audible twice already. And I found it like perfect timing because like this whole anxiety and depression is like common now. It's like literally everywhere and everybody's struggling with it. So my thing is, how long did it take you to really come up with this and why now?
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I was not setting out to write a book about mental health in no way, shape, or form. I was just talking about my experiences with anxiety, and I was keeping a journal, and then I started going to therapy, and then talking to my therapist. She was telling me about other sources of things I was dealing with, like PTSD,
Right.
trauma from things that happened when I was young. And I started writing it like last year, keeping the journal last year. And then I was like, you know what, I'm gonna turn it into a book. But I can't sit here and act like I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna write a book about mental health. Like that was not the case at all. So I think sometimes the universe conspires for these things to happen. Because if you look at like what Taraji P. Henson is doing with the Boris Lawrence Henson Foundation, and that her foundation is to eradicate the stigma of mental health in the African American community. Or you look at Chance pledging $1 million to mental health services. Or you see, like on the past year on the Breakfast Club, it seems like everybody's coming up there and they're talking about their mental health and going to therapy and anxiety and depression and all these other things. I just think that the universe is conspiring for us to have this conversation. I didn't know that this was going to be coming out October 23rd when I started writing it last year. Like I put out a book last April. I didn't have any intention of putting out another book within 18 months, but it happened. So I think sometimes things are just bigger than you.
Right, definitely. Okay, so moving on. Actually, like I said, I listened to it twice. The part that I was listening to that was really important is how males are frowned upon as how males, especially with society, how we're supposed to be. We're not supposed to be these soft, sensitive people and stuff, and we're not supposed to go through this. So honestly, me personally, it was hard for me to actually try to figure out who should I reach to because some people just don't know how to help you with your situation.
Absolutely.
And then because they never been through it. But then you have like, I do photography and come to find out a lot of these models out here have depression and anxiety and stuff. And then on top of it, my question to you is, how do you feel about with the music and the hip hop of all these suicides and stuff of depression and anxiety that's going on lately?
I mean, I think it ties into everything that you just said. It's like the music is a cry for help most of the time. Because if these young men don't got nobody to talk to, they're going to talk through their music. So a lot of times you hear it in the music, it's really just a cry for help. So it's just like, yo, you should find people to talk to. Like, I don't understand why we got such a problem. Like, we don't have no problem asking for help when it comes to anything else. Like, you ask for help when it comes to your rent. If you break your arm, you're not gonna just sit there with a broken arm. You're gonna take your ass to the hospital and get your arm fixed. So it's just like, why, when it comes to things that are going on in our mind, we don't have that same type of urgency to go get what's going on in our mind fixed. But I think it's also a lack of information too, though.
Right.
So it's just like when you're growing up in the hood, ain't nobody talking to us about no therapist.
Right.
Nobody talking to. I don't even know what the hell the guidance counselor did for me when I was in school. I don't know what the guidance counselor's purpose was. So these are things that actually happen when you kind of like grow and evolve and you're kind of away from the hood, and then you can come back and give that information to the hood to say, yo, these things are out there. Because it's hard to get healing when you're still in the middle of the hurt.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's true. And also I wanted to go back because of course, like in the generation I grew up, that we grew up in, like coming up, we used to like, of course, we used to cut on each other and stuff to say
Mhm.
that. But it seems nowadays, of course, like every little thing is just so damaging to a child or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, especially with social media out here. So, what's your aspect on that? On because it's so much out here. So many people are damaged just from stuff that's being seen on social media or promoted. People from little kids to grown adults are committing suicide,
Yeah.
all type of stuff. So, how do you feel about that?
Well, I mean, you know, I'm still working on the clowning people part. I don't think that'll ever stop for me. I like to joke around. You know, that's just the truth to the matter. But I do understand that social media is like painting this unattainable picture of perfection. I think that's what's causing the kids to kill themselves more so than the jokes. It's just the fact that they're looking at all of these people online living this virtual reality of perfection. They all fronting, everybody fronting. And I think that everybody's trying to be that perfect in real life too, because a lot of the stuff, the mistakes you make get captured online and then you get clowned. So everybody's trying to walk around and they're pretending to be perfect. And I think that if you a young kid and you growing up in this era, as soon as you make one little mistake, you feel inferior because you watching everybody else fronting, pretending to be perfect. So then now you be like, man, I don't deserve to be here. But you know, you just got to realize that everybody is fronting. They're all lying. They're pretending. In life, you will make mistakes. In life, you will have setbacks. In life, you will fall. But guess what? You will get up. So that's the best advice I can tell anybody.
Got you. Last question is, and this is kind of personal and stuff, because it's like I said, honestly, your book has actually helped and inspired. Like right now, I've never really gotten into doing interviews and stuff. Anxiety is running like crazy, but you said you use your anxiety to fuel
Absolutely.
and fight through it. The other thing is dealing with parenting. Like, let's just say an individual has anxiety and depression, but then your child has it as well. So, would you say it's the same rules as far as getting therapy?
I would tell you to be the adult that you needed as a child. Meaning that if you know your child has anxiety and depression and you can recognize those signs, then go get your child the help that you know you probably needed when you was younger, but you didn't have the adult to point them in the right direction. So be the adult that you needed as a child and just point your kid in the right direction.
Got you. All right, we didn't heard it all from Charlamagne Tha God
Yes, sir.
himself. I want to say, Charlamagne Tha God, your book is very helpful.
Thank you, man.
And I hope more people are encouraged to go out there and get yourself some help, which is depression, anxiety, whether it's yourself, your kids, your neighbors, or anybody. Go get that help. Thank you. It's been a one. Charlamagne Tha God.
My brother. Peace.